Today we are studying about Dget function in Microsoft Excel. Now, so how does the Dget function works in Microsoft Excel? Let's find out. We have a table in front of us. This is a table just for an hypothetical company containing the employee's ID, name, gender, age, and the department. Then we have another table which contains just the same parameters, but then it's just meant to be used to extract certain components of information from the major table. So how do we go about it? Simple. First thing is that we need to insert a drop-down list just below the column heading name. Usually, when we are working with Dget function, it's imperative that we have another tab which is usually our database or our data source containing probably all the data that we'll need to work with in our sheet. So this is our database. It contains the names and the various departments that we have in this particular hypothetical company. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is to insert a drop-down list under the column heading name, like I said before. To do that, simple, go to the Data tab, then choose on Data Tools panel, click on Data Validation. Once you click on Data Validation, select Data Validation. You'll have a Data Validation dialog. The reason why I call it a dialog is that pretty much you can simply communicate with it through these buttons. So select on List because we have a drop-down list. Specify your source using that arrow. So your source should be from your database. Because you are talking about names, then it means that this particular range is going to be your source. So just click on that particular arrow, then you click on OK. So very simple, you have a drop-down list containing all the names of employees that you have in this particular hypothetical company. So let's choose on any of the names. Let's choose on Callisto Benedict. So how will we use Dget function to actually obtain the age, the department in which Callisto Benedict works, the gender, as well as the employee's ID? First thing, click on the cell below the age column heading, activate using equal sign, click on Dget bracket. The first thing that you are going to specify is the database, which simply is this table. Now, usually when you specify your database, you should select the whole table, including the column headings. And that is very important. So you again highlight that, then WinKey plus F4 just to make sure that you locked that table for proper referencing. The next component that you'd want to specify is the field. Now, what is the field? The field is the element which you are searching from your database. In this particular case, we are searching for the age from the database, from the main table. So the age becomes the field. Now, there are three ways of identifying the field. The first method for identifying the field is by simply using the cell reference. So you just click on the particular, in this case, J2 for the age. This is the method that I recommend because it helps us, especially when that we'll have to drag the formula horizontally to obtain the other components. Now, just maybe for your information, the other method of identifying the field is through just typing in the column heading for the field in between quotation marks. For example, we will have just done their age. The next method is simply to use what we call the column index number. Now the column index number, if you are to use the column index number, the column index number is obtained from the major table or from the database. For example, in our case, for age, the column index number will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll have there number 5, then we continue. But like I said before, I recommend the cell referencing method because it helps us with dragging the formula horizontally and obtaining the parameters for the other elements. Once we've done that, we are going to identify the criteria. So what then is the criteria? Remember again, when you're working with Dget function, we have two major criteria. We have the single criteria, and then we have the multiple criteria, which we'll be looking into in a few seconds. So in this case, this is our criteria, the name. And usually for the criteria, it is the column heading, which is name, and the specific name itself, which in this case is Callisto Benedict. Then you close the bracket. You may want to lock that WinKey plus F4 just to make sure that the referencing is okay. So when now you click on enter, you realize that the age of Callisto Benedict is 62. Let's find out. That is true. The age of Callisto Benedict is 62. So now that we have that, we can go ahead and just click at that point, then drag your formula. Then you'll get all the other information concerning Callisto Benedict. And now if you come to this particular table and you'd want to confirm, you realize that the age is 62, that is correct. The department is treasury, gender is male, and that is the employee's ID. So that's how we use Dget function for single criteria. The single criteria for this case is the name, which includes the column heading and the specific name itself. Now let's go for Dget function with multiple criteria. This time round, we have three criteria: the department, the age, and the gender. So what does the program do? The program will search for a name and the corresponding employee's ID for a specified department, age of a given employee in that department, and the gender of that particular person. Like we said before, we're just going to insert drop-down list. We'll begin with department. Right-click on that cell, go to data, go to data tools, data validation, right-click on list, select from the database your departments. This should be your departments. Click on that, then just click OK. So you already have a drop-down list for all your departments. Let's choose on treasury for now, or rather, let's choose on marketing. For age, we do the same: insert, list, select. We choose from this. For age, you can just do it right away from the main table. Then you click on that. OK. Now we have again a drop-down list for all the ages. So let's choose, for example, let's choose there an age like 63. For gender, again, data validation, you'll do a list, but this time around, you'll just click, you just type in gender is either male or female. So once you type in like that, you just say OK, and then we'll have a drop-down list for gender as well. So let's maybe choose on male. So with this in mind, or rather with this multiple criteria, the department, age, and gender, we can now generate the name and the employee's ID which matches this particular multiple criteria. So you go there, you click Dget bracket. Database, like we said before, the whole of this table, including the column heading. You may want to lock this using WinKey plus F4 just for correct referencing. Field, very important. Like we said before, it is the name that we are looking for. We'll use the self-referencing method. Criteria, multiple criteria, we're going to choose on those three criteria of department, age, and gender, the column headings plus the elements or the contents of the columns. Again, like I said before, you may want to lock this using WinKey plus F4 just to make sure the referencing is correct. Enter. Now the name we are being given as Juvenile Benson, and if you check, let's check for Juvenile Benson, it should be here. He's working in the marketing department. He's 63 years of age. He's a male. Name, Juvenile Benson, and then the employee's ID. So how do we generate the employee's ID? Just drag this, and then you'll see that the employee's ID is coming to that particular one. And that is true. 6899, that is true. So that is Dget function for multiple criteria. So maybe just to wrap it up, what are the advantages that Dget function has over the Vlook-up function? Number one, function can do both the right-hand side and the left-hand side search. Remember, for the Vlook-up function, it only does the right-hand side search. As you can see, we've searched for example, let's go to the single criteria first. We had a name. We were able to search for age, which is the right-hand side search. We were able to search for department, which is right-hand side search, and gender, which is also right-hand side search. But we were also able to do what Vlook-up could not do. We were able to search for the employee's ID, which is found on the left-hand side of the reference column name. So the Dget function can do both the right-hand side search and the left-hand side search. Number two is that the Dget function can do multiple criteria search, and that's what we've seen through these two tabs. And then number three is that the Dget function can search for both words, and it can also search for numbers at that level. So thank you so much. That's all concerning Dget function in Microsoft Excel. I hope you have learned something, and thank you for watching.